here as well. AR versus Pittsburgh, Levis or Dalton versus Dalton for QB, and two between. All right, so let's answer the quarterbacks first, and then we'll get to the second half of the question.
It's absolutely Andy Dalton. It's 1000% Andy Dalton for me. I'm not even thinking about it. I like Levis is a non-factor here. Levis shouldn't even be in the question.
No, yeah, of course.
I get why he's putting him in there because whatever, but I'm saying Levis didn't even cross my radar. Anthony Richardson, he's got the rushing floor, but I need to see him complete more than 50% of his passes in a game, and he's going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been good against quarterbacks this year. So I do think that we see better days ahead for Anthony Richardson. I do. I think we see games where we go, my God, this guy's electric, but I don't think we see it in week 4. So with all that in mind, I'm going Andy Dalton in what is a revenge game. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I think I'm going Dalton here too.
Yeah, you are, buddy. Come on.
Pittsburgh has erased every quarterback they faced. Now, granted, Cousins in week 1 was the best one. First game off the Achilles. Bo Nix, second career start. And Justin Herbert, who was playing injured.
Yeah, sure.
Richardson, you bring up a rushing floor. He has not brought any type of a rushing floor outside of week 1. Fewer, like he's going in the wrong direction. Week 1, he gives us 30. Week 2, 17. Last week, 10. And this is my guy. He has not performed, and I don't think it starts this week against Pittsburgh. Like, sure, does he have it in him? Yeah, he can go crazy, put it all together. I'm just not willing to take that risk right now when we don't have to. And I do think they can get a decent game out of Andy Dalton because I do not trust this Cincinnati defense whatsoever.
Pete? Wow, jeez. You struggling here? You got something? What's the matter?
I'm struggling because I was the biggest fader on this show for Anthony Richardson, and I am somehow talking myself into playing him. And I get the case for not playing him, but here's the problem, okay? Andy Dalton had an awesome game.
Yep.
Awesome game, okay? And this Cincinnati defense is not great, but Adam Thielen is not playing. Deontay Johnson could be limited. He's got a groin injury.
You are walking into a pizza bet.
And Anthony Richardson, look, I know he hasn't been rushing, but Vegas has him at 35.5, and the juice is on the over for the rushing yards. He's at 177 for passing yards. This is a Steelers offense that's not going to it's not going to put. They're not going to put a lot of pressure for Anthony Richardson to come from behind. Josh Downs gets another game in the system, from being injured, and I don't want to be there when Anthony Richardson has a spike week. You only get so many from this guy possibly, and I don't want to be there with him on my bench. Now, Jalen Hurts, I would sit him for Andy Dalton because there's a chance that AJ and Devonta Smith don't play. So I can understand that argument. But with all his receivers healthy and with all the criticism, I trust Shane Steichen. I'm going to roll with Anthony Richardson here. And I understand it's not the popular play, but I just don't want to be there when I don't want to sit him on the bench when he has a spike week. You drafted him for the volatility, play him, and just that's it. I can't sit him. If you were telling me Pittman's out and Josh Downs are out, I would be worried. But he's got all his weapons there. If we can't start him, I get the Steelers are a tough matchup, but I can't in good faith not start Anthony Richardson with all his weapons healthy over Andy Dalton when we've seen Andy Dalton play one game and he was great, but Deontay Johnson could be limited and he just lost Adam Thielen. So
sorry. So just okay. I get it.
I know I went on a rant.
I'm actually gonna fucking pivot to Will Levis.
Oh Jesus.
I did my due diligence, and I think we can have a fucking three-way.
You are both
a three-way pizza bet.
Shit.
Will Levis. The first time. Listen, Will Levis last year against Miami had his best fantasy outing.
Yeah,
Will Levis last year against Miami, 327 yards and a touchdown with an interception, 21.9 fantasy points. Will Levis, by the numbers, has been improving on a week-to-week basis. 14 in week 1, tough matchup against Chicago. 17.4, tough matchup against the Jets. Last year, soft matchup, or last week, 22.2 against Green Bay. Now, Miami looks like a tough matchup on paper. And by the way, Levis, his completion percentage, 59, 67, 76 last week. Miami looks like a tough matchup on paper. But if we go look at who they played,
you've ever had.
Hold on.
Okay,
Miami, because on paper they look like they shut down quarterbacks. Got to remember, Miami has been blown out outside of week 1, and Jacksonville was in control of that game. Buffalo blew them out. They didn't have to throw the football. Seattle didn't have to throw much. Zach Charbonnet ran down their throats. I think this could be a nice Will Levis outing where he might have the highest floor out of all 3 quarterbacks.
Shut the front door. No, stop it.
I look, I'll give Anthony credit. I think like a lot of
give
people
credit for having balls to come
on my defensive,
but
on my defensive streamer show or video, I picked the Titans defense over Miami. I think the Miami defense stinks. Keep in mind, like they got lucky. Seattle didn't have to throw the football or score points last week. Game script helped them out. But would I ever in a million years start Levis in the lowest point total game that looks like a monsoon is going to happen in that game? Absolutely.
Yeah, that too, by the way.
The weather is supposed to be bad, and I'm not touching Levis in this situation.
Man. The weather's bad, and I pivot back to Dalton.
Dude,
no. I would love we make a pizza bet. This shit is locked, buddy.
I would love to take this clip and show it to us 2 months ago and show Anthony that he said he would start Levis over Richardson. You'd be like, what the fuck?
You do realize I was in on Will Levis all offseason.
I know you were. I said they would be a top 15 offense.
All right.
I'm
can we
just wrong right now?
Can we just please?
Are we taking the pizza? Are we taking the pizza bet or what?
But if it's a fucking monsoon, I'm pivoting. I'm gonna advise.
Perfect.
I'm going to advise the people to fucking pivot off Will Levis. But if it's good weather,
okay, so then we'll hedge. Then you'll hedge. You'll hedge if it's a monsoon. I don't know what constitutes as a monsoon. Is it slippery? Is it drizzling?
He's fucking bringing up a monsoon, not me.
I brought up a monsoon. Here's what I'll say. Either way, you'll hedge and then you get Dalton. How about that? You hedge, you get Dalton.
Fucking thing.
You get Dalton if you want to pivot off because of the weather. How's that?
Somebody asked if I should play the baby crying sound one more time.
If it's not raining hard, you don't get to pivot.
Yes,
You're locked in on
Levis. I like Will Levis this week.
But you're taking Dalton still, correct? If not Levis over Richardson.
Yes. Today.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Well, this is the easiest pizza bet I've ever won.
By the way, Joe Carlton agrees.
Progressively getting better week by week. But yeah, easy pizza bet. He's getting better week by week. Completion percentage has risen 9 points a week.
Well, he's just a walking joke. That's the problem.
I need to talk about anything else.
I don't give a fuck. He has 5 interceptions. That's fine. I'm not taking him as an NFL starter. I'm taking him for fantasy points, and he's been getting better week by week.
Okay.
But you don't jerk off to fucking Andy Dalton.
I'm not going to do that, idiot. I'm just going to win a pizza bet. Thin crust, by the way.
Sean asked if we got to his question. I'm rolling it back.